In this video, I want to talk specifically about dioxins. Dioxins are very toxic. The LD50, the lethal dose for 50% of the animals exposed, for rats is 22 micrograms per kilogram, and for guinea pigs, 1 microgram per kilogram body weight, indicating that the estimated toxicity of dioxins is somewhere between 3 and 60,000 times higher than that of cyanide. For a human, that would equate out to somewhere between 70 and 1,500 micrograms. So even a single milligram is deadly. And when you consider that nearly 1 million gallons of vinyl chloride were burned, that's a lot of dioxin that was created. While there's no doubt there's going to be initial deaths from this disaster, it's the long-term health effects for people with low but still significant exposures that won't be known for decades, and we need to start working on. If you want to see the acute effects of dioxin exposure, look on the internet for before and after photos of Viktor Yushchenko, the Ukrainian president who, before he died, said Vladimir Putin had arranged for him to be poisoned with dioxin. The man seemed to age 20 years in a matter of days. Dioxins are a unique poison. They don't poison us directly, but instead hijack our body's response to toxins, creating massive free radical damage. In other words, it's our body's response to dioxins that's deadly, almost like a bee sting to someone who's allergic to bees. A cytokine storm is another example. Specifically, dioxins are agonists for the aromatic hydrocarbon receptors. The aromatic hydrocarbon receptors are normally inactive, and they're bound to proteins called chaperones. Now, when we are exposed to certain toxins, the chaperone releases the aromatic hydrocarbon receptor, which then goes to the nucleus of the cell and triggers genes to produce proteins to remove the toxin. And this works well for normal toxins that we would be exposed to, but in the case of dioxins, the response is dangerously excessive, creating massive free radical damage, leading to damage of the liver, immune system, the endocrine system, DNA, causing birth defects, cancer, and all sorts of problems. A protocol should address 3 things. First, remove the dioxins, and for this, please refer to my previous video. Secondly, bind to the aromatic hydrocarbon receptors before they can trigger their effect in the nucleus. And 3, repair the free radical damage that is caused by the aromatic hydrocarbon receptors that have already gotten into the nucleus. To bind to the aromatic hydrocarbon receptors, we can use polyphenols and flavonoids such as quercetin, carotenoids, and my favorite, ellagic acid. And these can act as chaperones and rebind to the aromatic hydrocarbon receptors, causing them to no longer have an effect at upregulating genes in the nucleus. Fortunately, these are fat-soluble, so they can pass through cell membranes. To help the body deal with free radical damage, glutathione is useful, but we want that glutathione to be used to conjugate and remove the dioxin and other chemicals, and not to act as an antioxidant. So to allow the glutathione to do the detoxifying aspect, we should be using antioxidants specific for dioxin, and those would be superoxide dismutase and melatonin. Melatonin is also specific for protecting against dioxin-caused cardiac damage. Melatonin is also relatively orally absorbed. Superoxide dismutase is not. It would have to be administered by IV or rectally, as in a suppository. Normal vitamin C seems to have very limited effect on dioxin exposure, but perhaps that's because it's water-soluble, and a fat-soluble vitamin C would have better effect. So to recap, consider taking quercetin or ellagic acid, and if you can't get either of those, even carrot juice, as well as melatonin and superoxide dismutase as part of your protocol. God bless.